Autobots transform and roll out.
Everyone loves it.
Princess Peach or Toad.
Like, what am I watching, man?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Davion Bussey. Right here is Scott Churchson. And right here is our guest for tonight, Amanda Moon. And we are Tales from the Film Set. Let's go.
Couldn't ask for a better intro there. How you doing tonight?
Well, thank you. Yeehaw. Let's get the show on.
I guess we'll start this off. How's it going right now? You keeping busy? You having fun? And, well, I was going to say, have you fallen off any buildings or what's the stunt work like?
I'll tell you how this year's started. Generally, when I'm not working, my spouse and my daughter are there in the house. And then I'm up in New York most of the year. This year's been kind of a slow start, but it's been intentional because I wanted to spend some more time with my family.
Nice.
It's slow right now, so it felt like a good time to do that. And I will soon be starting The Exorcist. I will be full-time gripping on that. I'm trying to do stunts on a movie called The 99ers. Mm-hmm. So if I do that, then I will I will do some days over there. So.
Nice. So basically on the stunt side or more crew side these days?
My main bread and butter is gripping. Mm-hmm. I've been doing that for 7 years or so. I got my union card with SAG back in 2020. It was just a byproduct of me being on a film set. I was like just helping with special effects, and then needed more stunt performer, and I was like, hey, I can do it. And I had to audition on the spot, and Bob's your uncle got the thing, and my SAG card. So the stunt world for me, just because of my size and my stature, and there's not that much for me back home in Texas. So as far as like opportunities, people that I can go for instance. So being here in New York, when I came up here to grip, I started meeting coordinators on set and started asking, hey, like, where do people train? Where's the stunt community? Can you point me in the right direction? I'm not asking for a job, just show me where people are. And I got a lot of good advice, workshop with you. So I've been slowly ingratiating myself to this community.
Nice. So, and at this point, basically, you're keeping busy, which is a good thing right now because, well, 3 years ago was a little challenging, to put it delicately, And in this case, obviously, with everything you got coming up, talk a little bit about, like I said, what the journey has been like. You talked about initially that you were, just kind of looking for an in, a couple of connections. Did you start from the PA level, or how did you, start to ring that up?
A really funny story. I was in California, completely different. This was back in 2014, I guess. And I realized I was not going to continue on that path. And no idea what. And of course, LA being the hub of creatives, I was into meeting somebody who is an actor and she likes to write and so forth. And so she had brought me in, but I was in LA. I was mostly, I was in a no pay, low pay situation. And I was in that cycle for a while. Yeah, money to stay there if you're in a no-pay situation. So eventually I moved back home to San Antonio. This was probably like start of 2019. And there was a pal who I went to high school with, who graduated with my brother. And his brother graduated with me, and he worked on Fear the Walking Dead up in. And I just basically asked him, I'm like, hey, like, what can you point me to that I can do this here? And he was like, okay, I can pass you a commercial. I started from the commercial space and slowly worked my way up. Eventually got opportunities to work in a bunch of departments. And eventually settled more routinely in the department. And that led me across the U.S. and eventually here in New York.
Where the weather is a fair bit colder and snowier than perhaps you've been used to in the past.
And during blizzard, to 87 degrees.
True.
Quite the
Day.
proper.
So I remember when, my first time working on the string thing, I think the ropes, and she actually helped me and guided me through it. Her and a few other people in the group, but she definitely got me through everything. And I thank you for that.
That's how you guys met. That's right. Okay, yeah. Where was that, by the way? Either one of you.
Brooklyn.
Was that the High Fall Academy where I had my High Fall class, or was it someplace else?
I'm not sure where you did your high falls, but our part of Brooklyn.
Gotcha. Day, you got anything? Yep, there we go. Jack of all trades, Jay.
Yeah. Okay. What I really want to ask you is what really
you got this. You can do it.
I know. I got
Feel
this.
the power.
What really motivates you to basically pursue this career in acting?
I don't know if I'm in it. I've just been a high intensity person my whole life. I've been an athlete my whole life. I'm the wild child of my family. I've been a daredevil. And I think having the opportunity back in 2020 to do stunt work, I was like, oh, this is actually a viable thing. However, as I said earlier, in Texas, there really wasn't much opportunity for me specifically. So coming to New York, even though I've been working full-time script, I've been trying to immerse myself in the stunt community here to connections and show coordinators that I'm training and earn a potential spot on something that they down the line. It seems like, I really love the stunt world. I think it's really fun. I mean, the safety aspect is such a big part of it. Of course, we do a lot of safety departments. So it's like, in a funny way, those two departments, because even that wire, the rappelling station that we did, there's a whole rig to it. And for work, most of the time is make rigs and safety things. And so there's been a really fun crossover between the two departments that I work now. I'm hoping for more opportunities down the line. I'm not, of course, I'm going to get to meeting other people and showing, hey, what I can do, and I hope you give me a chance to do it.
Nice. And in this case, what's funny is that you said you're out of New York, but New Jersey is starting to pick up a lot of it right now. Not just the stages and everything like that, but just in general, a lot of the stuff's coming back over here in my turf, and actually our turf, me and Day. I spent a lot of years heading out to Brooklyn and Queens and even Long Island from Northeast Jersey. So it's nice to have a little bit on this side. But in your case, it's always funny because some people are like, yeah, I really don't want to go out to Jersey. That trip is a little too long, 5 days a week, especially after a Fratter Day.
It's funny you mentioned that because I moved here back in the end of 22. Fallout, I was brought up from Utah and invited to finish the entire season. And, the next job, or may have been the following job after Fallout or the one after Fallout. But the last major that I did there was The Housemaid. Now we did Happy Gilmore, so I've spent a lot of time in New Jersey.
That's right, yeah, because Happy Gilmore was like Bridgewater, like West Jersey.
What's that?
I think, Happy Gilmore was West Jersey for a lot of that.
We were all over the place. I mean, all over the place. Any nice golf course.
So.
Very fun job.
Nice.
But to your point, I am one of those people that I'm like, God, I have to go to Jersey. I have to pay all these tolls to get over there. I haven't been a New Yorker that long, and so I can't travel over to New York to work, and so now the reverse is starting to happen. All that to say, I'm I'm going to go where the work is.
Sure.
If I'm invited to play in New Jersey, that's where I'll be. I grumble about it internally, probably, but I won't about it.
You see, at this point, you've been to 3 corners of the U.S. You had Texas, you had California, you got this area. Now you just have to go to like North Dakota or Michigan to get like all 4 corners of the continental U.S. here. So,
Yeah.
I don't
but Day.
Trying to think. Oh,
Okay.
I got one.
Shoot.
So in high school, what did you not? I would say, did you do any extracurricular activities like gymnasts, basketball, volleyball, any?
like I mentioned. I wanted to be a player. I played a year, and then I realized I was not going to grow. I was the last one to make that determination for some odd reason. And if you look up, you knew I had no dream. Yes, that's that I am. But in order to play basketball, my father was like, Amanda, in the off season, you need to play soccer. And I played soccer at 4 years old. I actually started that before I even played basketball. So it's been something that's been a part of my life. I played soccer all the way through high school, all the way through college, and that's been my main sport. To appreciate it later in life.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are.
Now, okay, go ahead, Dale. I got a follow up question, but go ahead. You first.
All right, because the follow up question was, what's your anticipation on the FIFA World Cup coming over here because of that?
It seems like are tricky, obviously, going on. So are not. Trump is a very volatile person, so I don't know what that for games that happen. It just seems like a it's cheaper to go to a World Cup in another country, than trying to spend money. But that's just my personal thing. I mean, as much as I would love to attend the game, I mean,
it's funny actually. I cover Major League Soccer, and I've been doing that for 6 seasons, so I'm really tied to the league in general, including NYCFC. And it's funny because one of the biggest complaints I've been hearing has been not just the ticket prices, but the parking as well. Because parking at MetLife Stadium for handicapped people, handicap parking, is $225 a slot. SoFi Stadium in LA is $300. That's just handicap parking.
Honestly, like, it's such a cash grab, and it's really
okay. I didn't realize it was that much.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm knee deep in this. I was at Yankee Stadium on Saturday. I'll be there again for NYCFC this weekend. I just had a press conference earlier. Yeah, this has been all over with this kind of stuff right now, and it's infuriating because the average person is just like, yeah, I'll just watch it on TV.
But they're going to try their best to kind of prevent all certain bars in a certain amount of radius from having people camp out for their
head coach,
so they can get more of a ticket sales.
Head coach of U.S. Men's National, Mauricio, was like, people need to come out. I'm like, yeah, people also need to pay their mortgage for 3 months.
Disconnect with the running these businesses. They think we have in this economy, $300.
Yeah, and that's not food. That ain't ticket either. So, I mean, listen, you get some golden time, problem solved. You can handle that. I mean, a lot of times it's always funny. I'm not sure in your case, but I remember this with Gotham. You knew the day was getting late when the UPM would get closer and closer to set. And like at the 15th hour, he was like right here. And it was this angry dude. And we would rap at like 15:58 every single night. Yeah. But
yeah, I'm less soccer fan. Sorry to those who love soccer. soccer team, my whole U.S. Women's National Team, Gotham FC.
Nice. I had a guy over at Sports Illustrated Stadium doing photography for the 2 matches this weekend. So,
Okay, very
yes.
good. I wish I could have gone to that game. I wish I could have gone.
Well, I can get you in as press if you want. We can talk.
Okay, very good.
Seriously, I could.
Please.
It's not a problem.
I would love to.
Yeah, I'll make it happen. So, but anyway, yes, we can talk about that another time if we do. If you look at your career, obviously you look at everything right now from the lens of, somebody from Texas. San Antonio is a big city for Texas standards, but a little smaller by comparison to, like I said, what we have here in Jersey and New York. But in this case here, when you look at your life and you look at the experiences that you had and the stories that you've had and whatever celebrity was on set that day, do you have the people kind of sit there in awe or jealousy or just like ask you 1,000 questions when you're trying to just eat dinner?
I'd be surprised by this answer. Not a lot of people in my personal circle really care to ask. I mean, they'll ask, what celebrities have you worked with? And for the most part, everybody in my immediate circle know the projects that I'm on, and maybe they want to hear a juicy story, but I'm not really bombarded. I will say my inbox on Instagram, I definitely counted about, things that I share, obviously. And
how do I get started? Yeah, the inevitable question on Instagram. How do I get started? How do I do what you do?
A lot of that. And look, like, we all have to start. The thing that, to be quite frank with you, is that if you're taking the initiative, you're already, and maybe that's not a take that most people take, but to me it shows an initiative, and that's something that you need in this industry. You need to be somebody to advocate, because you're not. It's not just going to come to you. Maybe an opportunity will come by, but you got to put in that work.
Yeah.
And you have to show that you're proactive and that you're willing to learn and do all these things. Those are things that are coachable, really, like that. Innate somebody. I could no problem. I have guidance on how to get from A to B. Might look different for somebody else than my own path. But if you are proactive and you advocate for yourself and have an attitude, more often than not, I'm going to respond to you.
Sure.
And give you the best guidance that I can. I'm not somebody. I'm still pretty fresh.
How long have you been doing? You said 2020, right?
My very first taste of the industry was back in 15, I guess.
Sorry, you cut out at one point. I apologize for that. So, okay, so you still got a good decade at this point too.
But I feel like every I don't know. Maybe it's what's that? What you call it. I just don't want to get too comfortable.
Fair. But Day, you got anything?
I'm stunned. I'm just stuck.
All right. So in this case, like if we're going to do a quick question on this. Weirdest day on set you're allowed to talk about, and you don't have to mention the title or any of the production, or just one of those things where it's like, okay, they had to catch a chicken or something really weird.
I'm happy to hear stories that don't directly inform plot of, like that have come out or anything that is derogatory towards the actors that I've worked with. I worked with Natalie Portman on a Tiffany's commercial.
I think I saw that commercial.
Yeah, it was a jewelry campaign. We shot on, I think, 16 millimeter film, which is insane.
Interesting.
Large format, or I can't remember what. Anyway, doesn't matter. And I love Portman. That's been for a really long time. She's used that is out there, and we got to talk about with football because she's co-owner of Angel F. And I had mentioned the 99ers film that I'm trying to be a part of. And she shared this funny anecdote with her son. I guess whenever they moved to the U.S., he kept seeing signs for KFC, and he thought, and not realizing it was Kentucky Fried Chicken. He was like, "Oh, there's KFC everywhere. Like, there's big football fans out here."
Kansas Football City. Nice.
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Meryl. I had fun. There's like paparazzi photos with me.
Steve Sands? Steve Sands?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Steve,
I got into a shoving match with him once. I don't know why, but I have his number on my cell phone.
I had an altercation with him actually on Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, I can see him being there for that one.
Story. There's a scene where Carol's walking from the front door of Elias Clark with her vehicle, chauffeured, and we had a large 12 by 12 frame in the light, and I was sitting next to the car with Meryl, and as she approaches, of course, paparazzis everywhere, everywhere, because we're right at Rockefeller Center.
Oh.
You're in you're in thousands of cameras. Anywho, the paparazzi was because that's supposed to get, but they were in the reflection of the door and said, "Hey, can we vacate to be in the freaking movie?" And Steve Sands and this other gentleman started for a photo. He basically checks the guy to my right, and he slams into me almost. And I immediately saw red. I'm a Latino man. If you disrespect me or you hit me, I immediately go into fight mode. But not a good look with hundreds, if not thousands, of phone cameras pointing at me. Yep. Of course.
And Steve is a lawsuit factory too.
So I had to in fractions of seconds, and I didn't know later. Somebody from my entourage Steve Sands. A couple of days later, Steve came and apologized, and Steve Sands does not apologize to literally everybody I talked to. And I essentially, what he said was that, well, that basically started it. I'm like, no, I was there. I was right next to you. You slammed into that guy who then slammed into me. And I told him, do that shit. I'm going to get you thrown off this set. I told him, I'm very well loved here. And you, very small girl who can definitely hold. Doesn't matter optics, right? Then he never, to this day, has not.
Yeah. I remember when he had that one time where he got arrested for assault. I remember he was complaining to Radio Man about it. And Radio Man was just being Radio Man in general. But it's funny when you see Steve because he's just this kooky guy. And it's funny because for some reason he keeps showing up on my Facebook as people you might know. And his pictures on there are gold, but nobody likes them.
Well, look, everybody money. You're making thousands of dollars off a photo. I can't blame the industry that they're in, per se. The legislation that allows this. That said, he's a menace. You can quote me. Smell him before you. He's just entirely disrespectful to the crew.
Yep. Yeah. Day, you got anything?
Yes, I do.
Go for it, sir.
All right. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Yeah, interesting.
I grew up with Star Trek because of my pops. Star Wars is a little more. It's been a long time since I've seen there. But who doesn't love a lightsaber?
I ain't gonna say I do have a lightsaber, so
Go. Point taken.
it's the dark saber from The Mandalorian. I actually got it because it was like I ain't gonna take it out.
We've had stunt people on from The Mandalorian, and they know who actually like wielded the actual one during the fight scenes and everything like that. So Day was like, "I got one too." Very proud of that moment. You got Barry Lowen, who's sitting there, been a stunt guy for like 3 seasons. He's like, "I got one over here too." There we go.
There you go.
You got that.
You know what? I can't reach for it. I don't got the force right now.
His midi-chlorian count is low.
Ooh,
all right.
DC or Marvel?
Oh.
DC or Marvel?
I love X-Men, so I think.
All right, so it's Marvel.
Okay.
Huh?
X-Men Marvel?
No, I thought you said DC. X-Men is Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were DC. Okay.
Yeah, no, they're Marvel. Yeah. Yeah. By the way, the big difference is when you're on set, Marvel, they give you about that much of the script to use for the day. DC was like, we'll send you a link for the PDF for the next 6 episodes. Go ahead. We don't care. That was the weirdest thing. When I studied into like Jessica Jones or like The Punisher, they would give you the tiny little bit that basically belonged to you and take it back at the end of the day. But when I was standing in on Gotham and, even like, some of the other stuff out there, they would literally email you like the blue sheets and the yellow sheets 2 episodes in advance. And you'd be like, go ahead and read it. We don't care.
Proprietary. It's so funny how so vastly one.
Nice. So.
And one more thing. Are you an anime fan?
I watch anime. It's been some time to watch anything properly. I was introduction to anime was when Cartoon Network started airing stuff.
When you have Gundam Wing and Rurouni Kenshin and all those.
Yeah.
Moon, Dragon Ball Z. My favorite, Brain.
Okay.
That's a
nice.
Ghost in the Shell.
Oh yes.
Alchemist. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
I haven't seen that one yet, but
you never saw that?
No, I haven't. Yeah, no. Right now, I've actually started on Bleach, so I'm a little behind on that. But it's between that and reruns of Daria right now. So Daria from the 1990s and MTV. I just feel like you know what? Nothing got my Gen X brain better than like Daria when I from a high school.
Yo, Daria was the truth.
Daria was amazing. My wife doesn't get it, but for me, it's like that just spoke to me. But.
I would say, how I started watching anime was I have a cousin who had all the old school anime, and it was like the over the top, outrageous NC-17 anime, and I'm
really
watching yeah.
The more of the ecchi type style, as the phrase would be.
Like gory, crazy, and you're like, oh, this is interesting.
Now I have,
and I'm thinking, because as a kid, I'm like, okay, this animation, I'm not over. Like, I remember watching this one anime called something Lily's Cat.
I've heard of that.
That had me scared as heck. Well, the premise does remind me of The Thing, but it happened to be in a spaceship.
But yeah, I remember seeing that one back in the day. But actually, I got into anime back in way back in 1992. So, but by the way, what projects do you have upcoming? If you're allowed to talk about that.
The next thing that I'm doing is The Exorcist.
Oh yeah, so you did mention that. So now, is that a reboot, remake, sequel, requel?
I think it's like another sequel.
Okay.
I'm not big into the horror genre. I'm a Latino against spooky shit. So I'm on this project against my will because
it's not going to be that. Honestly, when you're filming horror, it's not really that spooky because all you're doing is just basically just like, oh, there's blood coming off the walls. Okay, and you know what the blood looks like, or
it's just wild and it will haunt my dreams.
But you got a coolness factor though. You got to give it that. So So nice. Day, you got anything else? I think we'll wrap up in a minute.
What would be your ideal lead role in any project? Whether it's something you could think of, like you want to be a lead of, like would it be romance, horror, action?
I don't know how good I have to absolutely. That said, action. I would love to be a fast.
All right.
Okay.
Nice. Okay.
Drive fast. Precision drive. She can shoot, ride. She can do all the things. Just so I have an opportunity. So.
Sure.
Like a John Wick.
Exactly.
Technically, I did stunt driving in John Wick 3, but they decided not to use it because they were like, you know what? Nah, we'll just pay you the rate, though. I'm like, all right, fine. I'll sit here and collect meal penalties for an overnight, if you insist. And
there was a very good stunt driving course out in New Jersey.
Yep.
Called Drivers East. It recently shut down, but I got to go over there.
Yeah.
The wheel, and it was, oh my god, it was so much fun. So yeah, or whatever, awesome. But yeah, acting chops wise, all that.
Nice. I guess last question: how can people find you on social media?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on I guess Twitter's not.
Blue Sky?
Oh, the other one.
Yep. Twitter's opposite, I think, is Blue Sky.
Threads?
Oh, Threads. That's right. Threads. Okay.
I'm primarily on Instagram and Facebook.
All right. Under like Amanda Moon or something? Or
you can probably type my name and I'll pop up, but my actual handle is Moon13.
Perfect. Nice. Day, anything else, or you want to take us out?
I'm done. I'm glad to have her on board. Like, she was amazing. Like,
they cross paths again in some form or another. I got something up in Westchester County and coming up like on next Friday. So I don't remember what the thing is either. Something Grove or I don't know. It's a picture car thing. It's like, you drive the car, you park the car, maybe you walk up and down the street and get paid. Tough life. Picture car work is like the laziest side hustle on the planet. Make $500 a day, get free food, and walk up and down a block. Gee, my life suffers. Yeah.
All right. On that note, I'm Davion Bussey. That's Scott. That's Amanda Moon, our guest for tonight. And we are Tales from the Film Set, and we're out of here.
Yeah.